Hi, Dr. Katie here. I'm both a medical doctor and a breast cancer survivor. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to talk a bit about art as a therapeutic tool. I am a big proponent of art therapy. I've used it in my life and I've used it with my patients. Whether it is, and you'll find that if you think about your life, it may be that you have used art therapeutically for yourself at some point. You didn't realize that you were doing it. The biggest kind of commercial example of that right now are the mindful color in books that we're seeing. Those are really, really great. One of the things I found really, really interesting last year, I went to a Buddhist monastery and I did a weekend art course, and it was a painting course, and it was particularly focused on the lotus flower and drawing lotus flowers and the meaning of the lotus flower and traditional Buddhist art. And one of the things that really struck me there was that, drawing what was a form of meditation. Painting was a form of meditation. We learned how to paint on a grid, draw on a grid. And the grid line actually reflected the energy, the beliefs about the different energy lines in the body. And one of the things that was very different about that sort of traditional painting that we were learning, and is if you look at more traditional depictions in the East of lotus flowers or Buddhas, you'll see that the shading is done opposite, where normally you would shade a plant. So say you're drawing a flower in the sun, you'd shade it so that the sun is coming and casting shadows from the outside, because the sun's in the sky. Versus lotus flowers that we were learning to draw had the sun coming and the light source coming from within, and the shading is done from within, because you are a source of light or enlightenment. And so I found that to be really, really interesting. So, and then many of the techniques that the Buddhist monks used to use thousands of years ago, really small, precise techniques. They used to chant as they would do the techniques, and it was a form of meditation. So using art as therapy is not a new thing. Though it's been studied more frequently in the West over the last, I'd say, 20, 30 years. So there doesn't have to be prescriptive, as in there are, if you want, you could become certified as an art therapist, or you could take pay to be in group art therapy classes, and that can be helpful. But you can also use art at home yourself to help you. So how can you do that? I've mentioned one thing that's the easiest thing if you want to get started today is you could get a coloring in book, or you could just start drawing with crayons or pencils, or you can paint, or you can do pottery. The idea is that you're doing something, the task is repetitive, you have to be focused in the moment, and clearly focused on that task. And as things, worries or thoughts come to your mind, you need to kind of push them aside to concentrate on this task that you're doing. And so that is a more mindful approach of doing art. The other thing that you can use in terms of using art therapy yourself is to actually use your art as a form of self-expression. Sometimes it's harder, or you're not ready to speak or say, or maybe you don't have anyone you can talk to talk about the things that are bothering you. You can instead use your art as a way to express your emotions. And maybe for some people it's a safer space. So using, for me, painting, sometimes I'll just sit at the blank canvas and as I paint, and I tend to do abstract art. Whatever emotions are inside, I just emote on the canvas. And then I step back and I take a moment when I finish to reflect on what's come out. And it's time for me, I do find stillness, but it's also a way for me to process my emotions. So these are just two short, simple ways that you can use art as self-therapy. One is as moving mindfulness, as a meditative practice, to be more grounded fully in the present moment and to find stillness, much like the Buddhist monks of old. Or you can actually use it as a way to, a medium to express your emotions and process your emotions. And it's something that you can do for cheaply or free. So if you haven't leaned into art and used art as a form of therapy, try it today. I think it's very, very rewarding. Thank you.